And if it's alright with you, I wouldn't mind spending the rest of the night with you.
No kidding, babe, we can make some noise. You and your girls, and me and my boys.
Just feeling right, a night filled with pleasure.
We can take it slow with no pressure.
Enough respect,
You won't regret.
this'll be a night you won't soon forget.
Yeah.
And that's a promise from me to you. Take my hand, girl, I'ma see you through.
You don't strike me as a woman that fronts. Here's your chance.
You only live once, I wanna hear you say, oh, what a blast, kid. We sure had good fun while it lasted. Hung out with
And
friends.
hit the skins.
Next week we're gonna do it again. Again.
Ain't nobody gonna hurt you. Ain't nobody, ain't nobody, ain't nobody gonna hurt you. Ain't nobody, we're just dancing, y'all. Ain't gonna hurt nobody out there on the floor. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. We're just dancing, baby. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. Gonna give you. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. We're just dancing, y'all. Ain't gonna hurt nobody out there on the floor. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. We're just dancing, baby. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. Gonna give you.
I remember those days, man. Ain't nobody gonna hurt you unless you want to get hurt. This is the Soul Love Radio Show on Hits 92.3. And I just want to bring back that flavor that we had. We used to get on the dance floor. We used to talk junk to the ladies, and I mean the good kind of junk, the kind of junk that made them want to move their rump. We also used to, I don't know, do that doo-wop that made them do that hip-hop, that, that barbershop quartet, but it could be done by itself. That was the most dope hip hop thing I've seen. And Kid and Play was an example of what I thought hip hop should be. It was fun. It was an example of I'm not trying to be tough. I'm just trying to kick it with the ladies tonight. I'm just trying to dance. I'm trying to feel a groove, a vibe. I'm gonna be lit. And guess what? Yeah, I do got parents that care about me, and I don't have to try to be anything other than what I was. And that was the beauty of hip hop. And that's what I kind of want to bring back to the forefront of our community is the principles of hip hop. I'm not trying to be other than preach to you. I'm not trying to tell you what you should or shouldn't do because hip hop, if I live by that principle, is what's in you and what you can express. If you can find that courage and that power to empower yourself to make choices that, I don't know, improve your quality of life and by any means necessary, by taking the chances that you have. And also, too, just getting back to just, I don't know, just enjoying self. Like, I love dancing. I go dancing like twice a week. You might see me out in the town. I'm the dude with the cape. I like to go places where we can indulge in the Mary J as well as indulge in the spirit of the night. And I also like to get some good food. So if you know places, hit me up. And I definitely looking forward to going there and, I don't know, doing my two-step. And I'm looking forward to just, I don't know, the more things that we are doing, we're building here at Hits 92.3. As I continue building on the show, I'm looking forward to showing, casing all sides of me. I like to dance. I like to, I don't know, tell stories, as you can tell. I also like to write, and I like to, I don't know, I'm an artist myself, so I'm an MC, which is a difference, rapper, MC. A rapper is somebody that says, I just do it for the money, and that's the only purpose. An MC says, I do it because it's something I have to say. The ceremony within myself that I have to master, the harmonies and the melodies that I find within syllables and words that can transmute any kind of chemistry within my brain, that can transfix alchemy, that can actually, I don't know, transcend universes and connect every dot imaginable. And as I look at music and hip hop, I just like to do my groove. And as we continue on this move, hope that you continue to like what we got going with this next set of music. And let's go. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's that blue cheese, you know what I mean?
I can definitely hold a scared, so I have to give the public what they want fear. It's just a total disruption of my stunt. I don't front. You're being very blunt. Now I went to a method that's new to spark the hunt. How? Well, we kick it like so, you see. I am a UMC, giving blows of three forces of nature. Earth, wind, and fire, let's negate the good, cause I'm bad with the skill to create. Right. Quite slick, various tricks and the know-how of a master like flow pow. Kick up, that's just a comic book, especially when I pick up and start to teach my first lesson. Arithmetic, reading, or writing. Not too exciting. I pick up what teachings orchestrate at my kingdom, based upon the elements and lyrics I bring them, stone by stone. But did you build it alone? No, Kim was prone to seek out alone from the kid who did sell the party well. Do tell. Oh well, I done told on. Wait up, hold now, on. Watch him flow on, so on, so on. Watch me grow on. I keep on growing till I start to sneeze. What sparks allergies? It's blue cheese. Blue cheese is the topic at hand, cheesy blue. True. Elements can't stand when I elaborate on the faint calibrated non-potent doses of a food for rodents. Jokes? No, just comes later. The procreator, I'm the one who saved the year of 1991. Made it kinda obvious for the entire world to find the fun of better yet we kinda clever. Get the level set check, all hands on deck. For the source of my skill is all real. Fashion to eliminate the weak who are marked with the seal of blue cheese. Now back to the nest at the foot of the tree. One for the hype MC, the cool in me. The Kim, the coolin'. I'm a slave for no man. Stand like Lopan, slam like Rodan. Who can? You can. Damn, I'm grandin'. Step off the runway, I'm preparing for landing. 3-point drop, turn, stop, and freeze. Spin 360 degrees for blue cheese.
And that's Blue Cheese by the UMCs. I love that song. That's another twin group. They was a group of twins that they used to dance their behinds off. They used to work it. They do the Kid and Play before Kid and Play. They was had like a one hit wonder thing, but they rocked. And to me, Blue Cheese was it. Every time I hear that, even to this day, this puts me into a mood that I just want to get up and dance no matter where I'm at. I don't know. I got silly shoulders. I got a turbulent torso, and I definitely got some happy feet. So when I hear that groove, I just want to get on the dance floor and dance. And it's funny because somebody said, "Well, how come you're not a dancer?" I can't do choreography. For some reason, when I think about dancing, I can't dance. It's just I just can't dance. So what I try to do every chance just feel. And people was like, "Yo, you could dance, yo, you dope." I'm like, okay, thank you very much. But I'm grateful with just kind of me expressing myself the best way possible. And the natural progression of like, a night out on the town you lit, you dancing and stuff. And I do feel privileged that ladies do see me sometimes. Yeah, they see me sometimes. And I do appreciate that. But when I'm on that dance floor or something, it's kind of like that Saturday Night Fever, that I don't know, B Street feel, that breaking feel, that stomp the yard feel. When you go on the dance floor, people looking at you like, yeah, 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 he about to tear it up. Yeah, I got a cape on top of that, and I don't know. I'm trying to be sharp as a thumbtack when I can, and I try to, make an impression when I step on that dance floor, and then I don't know, the beat just takes over, and that's the essence of Blue Cheese to me. And Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody, Kid and Play, just so many dance tracks. And I mean, there's so much hip hop and all that flavor. And I don't know, it led me to a moment in time where, yeah, I was a teenage father. I mentioned my mother, but I was a teenage father. I literally 4 months out of high school, I had my first daughter, my child, Brianna Rachel. That's my heart, my soul. She's such a dope individual. And I'm not just saying that because she's my daughter. She's brilliant. She is absolutely gorgeous. But the most beautiful thing about her is her mind, and her heart and her soul. And I do appreciate that. And as a teenager, when her mother said, "Hey, I'm pregnant," I don't know. It didn't really scare me. I mean, I knew what I was doing. I mean, I was there when the situation happened. I mean, it wasn't like I could say, "Wow, me." How me? I mean, I was there, and she was there, and hey, but I heard the horns of this one song, and I would love for you to kind of embrace the feeling of hearing some horns, hearing a theme song when one of the most chaotic and scary moments of my life. I didn't feel scared. I didn't feel afraid. I felt responsible. I felt that I heard these horns and it said, "Be a father to your child." Etta G and the Bulldogs. And for most people, they probably never heard of that group, but it was a group that actually, I don't know, changed the course of my life because the best thing I ever did was be a father. And I'm hoping that my daughter Brianna is out there listening, and my other daughter Kyla, she's out there listening. But the song coming up next is "Be a Father to Your Child" by Edo G and the Bulldogs, and I hope that you feel the horns and feel the essence of how important it is to be a father to your child.
Hey yo, be a father. If not, why bother, son? A boy can make 'em, but a man can raise one. If you did it, admit it, and stick with it. Don't say it ain't yours, cause all women are not whores. 90% represent a woman that is faithful. Ladies, can I hear it? When a girl gets pregnant, her man is gonna run around. Dissing her for 9 months when it's born, he wants to come around. Talking at him, sorry for what I did. And all of a sudden, he now wants to see his kid. She had to bear it by herself and take care of it by herself. And giving her some money for milk won't really help. Half of the fathers with sons and daughters don't even want to take them. But it's so easy for them to make them. It's true, if it weren't for you, then the child wouldn't exist. After a skis, there's responsibility, so don't resist. Be a father to your child. 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 You see, I hate when a brother makes a child and then denies it, thinking that money is the answer, so he buys it. A whole bunch of gifts and a lot of presents. It's not the presence, it's your presence and the essence of being there and showing the baby that you care. Stop sitting like a chair and have your baby wondering where you are or who you are. Fool your eyes, daddy. Don't act like you ain't, cause that really makes me mad, G. To see a mother and a baby suffer. I had enough of brothers who don't love the fact that a baby brings joy into your life. You can still be called daddy if the mother's not your wife. Don't be scared, be prepared, cause love is gonna get you. It'll always be your child, even if she ain't with you. So don't front on your child when it's your own, cause if you front now, then you'll regret it when it's grown. Be a father to your child. 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 Put yourself in his position and see what you've done. But just keep in mind that you're somebody's son. How would you like it if your father was a stranger and then tried to come into your life and tried to change the way your mother raised you? Now wouldn't that amaze you, to be or not to be? That is the question. When you're wrong, you're wrong. It's hard to make a correction. Harassing the mother for being with another man. But if the brother man can do it better than you can, let him. Don't sweat him, Duke. Let him do the job that you couldn't do. You're claiming you was there, but not when she needed you. And now you wanna come around for a day or two. It's never too late to correct your mistakes. So get yourself together for your child's sake and be a father to your child.
Edo G and the Bulldogs. Be a father to your child. I swear this is a song that needs to come out right now. Again, we need to, like they did the Tevin Campbell song, we need to have this playing everywhere all the time. Because it really starts with being a father to your child. And when that happened, I was a teenager. I was 17. I was about to graduate high school. I was a Rice Raider, Rice High School, 124th in Lenox. We went to Lenox U, and I did graduate. That's a story, a funny thing, an inside joke with anybody who ever went to Rice High School. The years Felipe Lopez, Gary Saunders, Corey Williams, rest in peace. But Kimba Walker went there, Andre Barrett. We had a lot of dope like NBA players. I mean, I was there when Felipe Lopez was there. Reggie Freeman. We had all these guys. But when it happened, I had to make a choice. I'm gonna be a father to my child, but what does that mean? Yeah, I got a high school diploma, but I don't want to go to college. I love hip hop, and I got a girlfriend who's kind of mad at me because she's like, "You ain't the man I thought you should be." And I'm like, "Well, I'm a kid who's trying to learn how to be a man." But I took on the responsibility immediately, and I got a job. And the funny thing for me is that I chose not to sell drugs. I chose not to be in the street. I chose that because my father did. He told me one time, I did enough crime for all of us. I did enough jail time for every member of our family. If I ever catch you in jail again or doing something criminal, I will beat you up and rob you myself. And he looked at me and I knew he was telling the truth. He said, "You are a smart, cool kid. Why don't you be that?" The reason why I'm a criminal, I do what I do, because I'm not smart and I'm not cool. I actually beat up cool kids. Mm. It's my father. Toughest dude I know. Look at people, he was like a miniature Debo. But I gained some respect for him that day because he didn't tell me to continue that path. He said, "What I'm doing is wrong." And he said, "You're going to have a choice as a man. Either you're going to find love of self, love of God, love of family, love for your grandmother, his mother, who was the American dream, came here from St. Thomas, made sacrifices, and gave me an opportunity to live life." And when I was making the choice to what kind of man I wanted to be, which entailed now, I had to be a father, and it kind of sped up the pace of that decision. And I had opportunity, but then I heard this song by KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions. And yeah, you know them from South Bronx and The Bridge Is Over. I mean, they shut stuff down, but people don't realize KRS-One, he identified himself as the philosopher. One of his greatest albums, My Philosophy, it's one of the best songs ever. But the song that I want to share with you today is Love's Gonna Get You. And it kind of just detail what life would be like if I decided to love the streets over loving God and my family and myself. So I hope that anybody out there listening who's deciding what kind of love they want to have for themselves, and they have to make that choice between doing what they feel is right or doing whatever they have to do because they're trying to be right. There's a choice, and there's some nuance with this. KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions, Love's Gonna Get You, and I hope that you dig it. Love's Gonna Get You.
You know, that's why, man, I be telling you all the time, man, you know, love, that word love is a very serious thing. And if you don't watch out, I tell you that. Because a lot of people out here, they say, "I love my car," or "I love my chain," or "I'm just in love with that girl over there." So for all the people out there that fall in love with material items, we're gonna bump the beat a little something like this. I'm in junior high with a B+ grade. At the end of the day, I don't hit the arcade. I walk from school to my mom's apartment. I gotta tell the suckers every day, don't start it. Cause where I'm at, if you're soft, you're lost. To stay on course means to roll with force. A boy named Rob is chilling in a Benz in front of my building with the rest of his friends. I give him a pound, I shake his hand. He's the neighborhood drug dealer, my man. I go upstairs and hug my mother, kiss my sister and punch my brother. I sit down on my bed to watch some TV. Do my ears deceive me? Nope. That's the fourth time this week. Another fast brother shot dead in the street. The very next day while I'm off the class, my mom's go to work cold busting her ass. My sister's cute but she got no gear. I got 3 pairs of pants with my brother I share. So they're in school, see I'm made a fool. With 1.5 pair of pants you ain't cool. But there's no dollars for nothing else. I got beans, rice, and bread on my shelf. Every day I see my mother struggling. Now it's time, I've got to do something. I look for work, I get this like a jerk. I do odd and come home like a slob. So here comes Rob, his goal is shimmery. He gives me 200 for a quick delivery. I do it once, I do it twice. Now there's steak with the beans and rice. My mother's nervous, but she knows the deal. My sister's gear now has sex appeal. My brother's my partner, and we're getting paper. 3 months later, we run our own caper. My family's happy, everything is new. Now tell me, what the fuck am I supposed to do? That's why you fall in love with your chain. You fall in love with your car. Love is gonna sneak right up and snuff you from behind. So I want you to check the story out as we go down the line.
Let us move on.
Money's flowing, everything is fine. Got myself a Uzi and my brother a 9. Business is booming, everything is cool. I pull about a G a week. Fuck school. A year goes by and I begin to grow. Not in height, but juice and cash flow. I kick up my feet and begin to watch TV. Cause now I got other people working for me. I got a 55-inch television, you know. And every once in a while I hear Just Say No. Or the other commercial I love is when they say this is your brain on drugs. I pick up my remote control and just turn. Cause with that bullshit, I'm not concerned. See, me and my brother jump in the BM. Driving around our territory again. I stop at the light like a superstar. And automatic weapons go sprayed my car. I hit the accelerator scared as shit. And drove 1 block to find my brother was hit. He wasn't dead, but the blood was pouring. And all I could think about was Warren. Later I found that it was Rob and his crew. Now tell me, what the fuck am I supposed to do? You know, that's why.
Love's gonna get you. 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 Love's gonna get you.
That word love is very, very serious.
Love's gonna get you.
Very addictive.
Let us move on.
My brother's out of it, but I'm still in it. On top of that, I'm in it to win it. I can't believe that Rob would diss me, that faggot, that punk, he saw for sissy. I'm driving around now with 3 of my guys. The war is on and I'm on the rise. We roll right up to his favorite hangout, said hello, and then the bullets rang out. Some fired back, so we took cover. And all I could think about was my brother. Rob jumped up and began to run, busting shots, hoping to hit someone. So I just stopped and let off 3 shots. 2 hit him and 1 hit a cop. I threw the gun down and began to shout, "Come on, I got him, it's time to break out." But as we ran, there were the boys in blue, pointing their guns at my 4-man crew. They shot down 1, they shot down 2. Now tell me, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Love's gonna get you. 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 Love's gonna get you.
Let us move on.
You know, a lot of people believe that word love is real sore. But when you use it in your vocabulary like you're addicted to it, it sneaks right up and takes you right out. So, for future reference, remember, it's alright to like or want a material item, but when you fall in love with it and you start scheming and carrying on for it, just remember, it's gonna get you.
Hey, love's gonna get you. Thank you very much. This is the Soul Love Radio Show on Hits 92.3. And love did get me, but I did make the choice. That's kind of who I am. I started out, my first rap name ever was Ant Lover. My middle name is Anthony. And, back then you was either Ski, Lover, D, or you just had an initial, or you was Nice or D Nice. That's why you kind of look at all the different names back then. It was very simple, but it was kind of a representation of like your avatar. And that's why it's funny to me now when people talk about their names. When I ask them, what does your artist name mean? And they say, well, I'm Little Dusty. Okay, Little Dusty. What does Little Dusty mean? I'm a Little Dusty. And I mean, he really was dusty and little. I'm short, but he was little. And I only think there's a few littles that can get away with that and still be considered dope. Little Wayne, one of them, and a bunch of other ones. But I'm just gonna stick with the original one, Little Wayne. But Love got me, and it taught me to embrace my coolness, not to be the kid that was following anybody, not to be the kid that said, "Hey, I don't really want to rob anybody, but I'm here." And I would go and just do what everybody else did. I remember one time, and statute of limitations is over, so there's no snitching. And I want to talk about that too, because snitching is me and you agree on doing the crime. I get caught and I tell on you. If I'm just walking down the street and you rob an old lady and that's my aunt and I tell the cops, yes, that's not snitching. That's me being responsible. There's a difference, and I may be considered all kind of things, but yeah, if I didn't agree to do the crime, I'm not doing no time. I don't care what nobody say. If I'm down with it, I got to deal with it. But the difference is if I said, hey, I ain't got nothing to do with that, and you say, all right, and you go about your business, and they come to me, I ain't gonna snitch on you. I just said if I happen to be a part of it, I ain't gonna be a part of it. But Love is gonna get you taught me the traps of hip hop, growing up in the streets and just seeing like I had a choice. I mean, I could sell drugs, I could play sports, or I could just try to be a regular square, as they say, Joe Smo, who just went to work and did a 9 to 5. But I don't know, I did all of it. I just realized that that wasn't for me. And I made the choice early on that, like I said, it starts with one delivery, two deliveries, and then you sit there and make a decision. What am I going to do? And as a father at that moment, I recognized, even though I was a teenager, I had a choice to make. And I made the choice to go right instead of left. We hear so many stories about people going left. Oh, this person has so much potential. This person made a bad choice. This person was hanging out with the wrong crowd. All those choices that were made was usually they didn't want to be there. They didn't want to do it. They just kind of went along with it. And I don't know, I learned early on that me plus a bunch of asses is the masses. Once again, equation me plus a bunch of asses is the masses. So I never really wanted to do what everybody else did. I wanted to do my own thing, and that was supported with hip hop. So when KRS won the philosopher, the one who told the bridge is over, and it was over, that was the moment that I realized that the power of hip hop was in me, that I could make a choice and still feel cool, and still feel that it was okay to not be a drug dealer, to not be a gang member. Um, People, I grew up in the Bronx, and it's gonna come up because I grew up in the mecca of hip hop, and I don't reject the idea of where I'm at because Rakim said it ain't where you from, it's where you at, and I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. So I always respect that. But growing up, I grew up going to Hunts Point, where they used to have a show, Hookers on the Point. I was a kid walking around, and the hooker used to say, "Hey, come here, give me your lunch money." He used to laugh, get out of here. But then you recognize, wow, wow, I seen that lady on HBO, and she was the woman that asked me for 25 cents as I went to junior high school. I was 12 years old, and it makes you think about those moments. But I remember a gang coming up to me and saying, "Hey, get down or lay down," and I looked them straight in the eye and I said, "Unfortunately for you, I'm a little more scared of my mom than I'm scared of you." So I'd rather take a butt whipping from you right now than go home and take that butt whipping and tell my mom I joined the gang. And other dude looked at me and said, nah, leave that dude alone. The fact that I even had the courage to look him in the eye and say it. I did have to fight one of them. And good thing my father taught me how to fight. And I don't know. I just know how to fight sometimes. I don't like to fight. I suggest words. But I defended myself that day. And the beautiful thing about that was I was able to actually, I don't know, find strength in just being me. I like cartoons. I like comic books. I like Superman. I like Spider Man. I like the Flash. He's my favorite superhero. But I also like Eminem. I like Lord Tariq, Peter Guns. I like rap music, but I like rap music that says something with feeling. And when I look at the next song, Know the Ledge, and by Rakim, Know the Ledge, and it was in the movie Juice. And the beautiful thing about Know the Ledge is that that was the moment that I recognized that no matter what you do, no matter how you stand, if you respect where you're from and you know where you're at, you can move. But knowing the ledge was, yeah, I did make a decision not to go that way, but just stepping out into the world, we're all on the edge. Kind of like the first real hit for me was the message, don't push me because I'm close to the edge. So to know the ledge, know where it's at, that's self awareness. That's being aware of what's going on. And the visuals on this really captured the song, the movie Juice. And if you saw the movie Juice, that's bred one of the biggest stars ever, Tupac, on my eps. And a couple other ones. Shoot, Samuel L. Jackson was in there. And I remember Samuel L. Jackson had that one line. And I mean, even to this day, my boys, we may not say anything else, but we'll go out to like, she got the snappy nappy dugout, the snappy nappy dugout, the snappy nappy dugout. I didn't know what that meant then. I thought they was playing baseball, but as I got to know the ledge a little bit more, I did know what they were talking about. So as we come in with this next joint, Rakim, Eric B and Rakim, Know the Ledge from the soundtrack Juice, and I let you know it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. Doom.
Sip the juice, I got enough to go around, and the thought takes place uptown. I grew up on a sidewalk while on street talk, and then taught to Hawk, New York. I go to Queens for Queens to get the food from Brooklyn. Make money in Manhattan and never been took it. Go uptown to the Bronx and boogie down, get strong on the island, recoup and lay around. Time to build my juice back up, pop stack up. Suckers get smacked up, don't doubt the clout. They know what I'm about, knocking niggas off, knocking niggas out, shaking them up, waking them up, breaking them up, breaking them up. Standing on shaky ground, too close to the edge. Let's see if I know the ledge. Corners trifling, shorty's here. I get cocked deep, living 40s to beer. Here's a sip for the crew that's deceased. If I get revenge, then they rest in peace. Somebody got us up, I just might spare one and give a brother a fair one. Stay alerted on bees, and I do work with these like Hercules. Switch to southpaw, switch your right jaw, cause I don't like all the hyper nightfall. Smooth, but I move like an army. Bulletproof down, case brothers try to bomb me. Put brothers to rest like Elliot Ness. Cause I don't like stress. Streets ain't a place for innocent bystanders to stand. Nothing's gonna stop the plan. I'll chill like Gino, kill like De Niro. Black Gambino, die like a hero. Living on shaky ground, too close to the edge. Let's see if I know the ledge. Shells lay around on the battleground, dead bodies are found throughout the town. Trying to put shame in my game to make a name. I'ma put it on a bullet, put it in your brain. Rip the block like a buckshot, who cares where it goes? Just keep the casket closed. No remorse when a life is lost. I paid my dues, paid the cost. And my pockets are still fat. Wherever I'm at, I get the wealth from Mac. Even if my crew is steep with one deep, I attract attention, people like to be. So come say hi to the bad guy. Don't say goodbye, I don't plan to die. Cause I get loose, and I got troops. And crazy juice, in control of many. Like I am total many. Hang out with Smith West, don't try to blame me. I'm at war a lot, like on war forgot. But no war in the shop, my gun is warm a lot. When I cook beef, the smoke will never clear. Areas in fear, but this here's severe. Living life too close to the edge. Hoping that I know the ledge. Brand new morn, no time to yawn. Showers on, powers on. Late for school, I catch the train. Girl sip the style and whisper my name. I push up like an exercise. Check the intellect and inspect the thighs. Select the best one, pull it to the side. Keep her occupied for the rest of the ride. Read on my resume, she know already cool. Just meet me after school. We can moan and groan until your mom's come home. And you'll be calling me out, dope Capone, sweat me. She didn't wanna let me loose, come get me. As if you wanna sip the juice, cause the streets await me. So I take my gun off safety. Cause a lot of niggas hate me coming out of the building. They set me up, sprayed with automatics, they wet me up. And the puddle with blood, I lay close to the edge. I guess I didn't know the ledge.
the Ledge by Eric B. and Rakim. And this is the Soul Love Radio Show. And thank you for taking time out to groove with us as we go through how hip hop helped shape my reality and my perspective. Eric B. and Rakim, I don't know, they just changed the course of what hip hop was. It became something that was simple to something that required understanding of metaphors, similes, and as Rakim said, when he spit his verse, it was like a saxophone. It was like a melody. But the words that he used, the understanding wasn't about dancing. He was hard. He didn't even curse in his rhymes. And he's one of the hardest rappers to ever do it. And if you listen to his music, he really didn't curse. I don't think I ever heard Rakim curse on one of his songs, but he's still one of the hardest to ever do it. So he taught me a responsibility with my words. He taught me that I have a responsibility to the listeners, and I have a responsibility to everyone who came before me to try to put my best foot forward and to find my own unique way to kind of scale that ledge. And speaking of the ledge, I want to take some time out to, I don't know, mourn two of my heroes, because the ledge in hip hop to me was demonstrated and exploited in the death of Tupac Shakur and Christopher Wallace, Biggie Smalls. I took a moment there because they both changed my life. Um, I remember for the first time that I heard Tupac, and Tupac, it was on the same song, but he was, you know, Juice that came out, but when same song came out, we really didn't make the correlation. But then he came out with that song Trapped. And I tell people we should listen to Trap because I think that was the foundation for trap music. Tupac. He kind of had a song. First song was called "I'm Trapped." They got me trapped. Ooh, and then Brenda's Got a Baby, and Brenda's Got a Baby was the story of a teenage mother who didn't have the support. So for me, it kind of showed what would have happened to me if my mother didn't put down a mic and give me life. So I was really grateful for the image. It connected the dots for me and gave me an appreciation for life, through a mother's choice, a decision, just like when I had to make the decision to be a father to my child. But when I heard Tupac for the first time, I fell in love. I was like, this dude is dope. And people around me in the Bronx like, I don't like that dude. He's whack. He's whack because, up north they got this thing about you got to be lyrical. You got to be dope, technique and style. And I think is that's dope. I mean, I got lyrics, I got that too. But music's about a feeling. Can you make me feel good? Can you make me feel something I never felt before? Can you do something with a word that I never see you do before? That to me is also style. That's technique. That's hip hop. So when I heard Homies Call, I was so grateful that he came with something different because it was about me as a friend. Like, when your friend, I don't know, goes into uncharted waters, they start, I don't know, you can see the fear in their eyes, the uncertainty of a decision that they've made, and you say, I'm here for you. So in my Homies Call, it was a testament to friendship, to kind of like the movie Stand By Me, but it was hip hop, kind of like Juice, but it was hip hop. And it taught me the value of when my homies call. Then Biggie, the first song I heard was It's Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. That joint was dope. But the song that touched me was Things Done Changed. That was the moment because, you know, ever since I was a kid, unfortunately for me, my mom's, suffers from cancer. She's been in remission. She's been fighting strong since I was a young man, a young teenager, and I'm grateful. She's been fighting through many ailments, and I use hip hop to help me soothe. Hip hop taught me that I had a responsibility to her to honor her and not contribute to her sickness or not contribute to giving her a harder time than was already there. So I found my square, and when I heard Biggie Smalls, he said a line in it, and I'm pretty sure if you heard Things Done Change, he said, my mama got cancer in her breast. Don't ask me why I'm stressed. Things done change. And I think that's a good segue to get into Biggie Smalls, Things Done Change. And it was on the Ready to Die album. And if you remember that time and place, I do because the first time I heard it, I had a boom box. And when my friend had a boom box, he came from Brooklyn and we had to all chip in for batteries. Yeah, we used to chip in for battery. We used to spend about $20 a day just to listen to music on a double cassette player, loud as we can. We didn't have Bluetooth. We didn't have phones that we could stream, but we did have Biggie Smalls, and we did have Tupac, and we did have a journey in hip hop. And as things done changed now, I hope that you can groove with me again and see the feel the things that I felt when I heard this for the first time. I felt love, I felt passion, and I felt fire inside that. Nah, things didn't change. And the thing that changed was I'm gonna make it happen. Things didn't change.
Remember back in the days when niggas had waves, Gazelle shades and cornbraids, picture pennies, honeys had the high top jellies, shooting skelly, motherfuckers was all friendly, lounging at the barbecues, drinking brews with the neighborhood crews, hanging on the avenues. Turn your pages to 1993, niggas is getting smoked, G. Believe me, talk slick, you get your neck slick quick. Cause real street niggas ain't having that shit. Toting text for rep, smoking blunts in the project always. Shooting dice all day, waiting for niggas to step up on some fighting shit. We get hype and shit and start lighting shit. So step away with your fist fight ways, motherfucker. This ain't back in the days, but you don't hear me though. Back in the days, remember they used to talk, but not at class. Back in the days, remember they used to talk, but not at class. Back in the days, remember they used to talk, but not at class. Back in the days, remember they used to talk, but not at class. Yo, more Coco, Levio, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All of this to me is a mystery. I hear you motherfuckers talk about it, but I stay seeing bodies with the motherfucking chalk around it. And I'm down with the shit too. For the stupid motherfuckers wanna try to use Kung Fu. Instead of a Mac 10, he tried scrapping slugs in his back end. And that's what the fuck happens when you sleep on the street. Little motherfuckers with heat wanna leave a nigga 6 feet deep. And we coming to the waist to make sure the crying and commotion ain't a motherfucking fake. Back in the days, our parents used to take care of us. Look at them now, they even fucking scared of us. Calling the city for help because they can't maintain. Damn shit done changed. If I wasn't in the rap game, I'd probably have a key knee deep in the crack game. Because the streets is a short stop. Either you're slinging crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot. Shit, it's hard being young from the slums, eating 5-cent gums, not knowing where your meal's coming from. And now the shit's getting crazier and major. Kids younger than me, they got the Sky Grand pages. Going out of town, blowing up. 6 months later, all the dead bodies showing up. It made me want to grab the 9 and the shotty. But I gotta go identify the body. Damn, what happened to the summertime cookout? Every time I turn around, a nigga getting took out. Shit, my mama got cancer in her breast. Don't ask me why I'm motherfucking stressed. Things done changed.
Back in the days, that's how it was. And I definitely remember things done changed. I'm thinking about how it was then, and I think about how it was now. And I think about how it is now. And being present and understanding that everything that I heard, all the music that I heard, it did influence me. It did make me who I am today. I wouldn't say I was a backpack rapper, but I did carry backpacks. I like books. I like comic books. I like having stuff. I like to. I didn't have a purse. I didn't have a satchel, as they say now, but I had a book bag. But the beautiful thing about Hip hop to me was about expressing himself and doing everything that you can to represent what was in your heart and what was in your soul. See, the reason why I feel I need to do what I'm doing is because I got a soul and I got love, and I want to love my soul. So if you got a heart and soul, you may like what I'm doing, but if you don't got a heart and soul, I don't really care if you don't like what I'm doing. But you still should listen, still should watch, still should do the things that you want to do because guess what? That's hip hop. Live and let live. You get what you give. But in my world, I want love to be all there is. So this next joint is my homies called by Tupac. A lot of people don't really like the this song out of all his tracks. They say it's probably one of the weakest, but I think sometimes people say Tupac wasn't lyrical. He didn't show skills. He didn't show style. He just harmonies. Hey, baby, baby, or something like that. That's too. That's but homies called, and when my homies called. It was one of the dopest things because it was black and white, but he had a red outfit and it kind of stood out. And he kind of brought together his boys and he showed like even though I made it, even though I was the one who made it out of this struggle, I'm still here for you the best way I can. And I think a lot of times, as artists, as people who do find ourselves being in positions of success, we don't necessarily reach out to our people. We'll like one day, I'm not knocking nobody's hustle, but if you have opportunity to invest into your peoples, into your friends, and their well-being and their health, and not just taking care of their vices, but to help with their ability to sustain life, that's the most beautiful thing we can do. So when I listen to when my homies call, I think about the soul love I want to give to all of you. I think about all my homies and all the queens and all the ladies and all the bad bees and all the PYTs and all the pretty things that I don't know make the world go around. But I also want my homies to know that we should be able to look at each other and show love without being afraid to show it and not look at each other as ops. See, I don't know. I got no ops, but I got people that I have strong disdain for. That's what happens when I matured a little bit. I ain't my ops. My greatest opponent is myself, and that's something else I learned in hip hop. But when my homies call by Tupac, this is my joint, and I hope that you can vibe with it.
Ever since you was a pee-wee down by my knee with a wee-wee, we been Gucci cool. All through school, you and me, G. Back in the days, we played practical jokes, so everybody smoked with they lumps and they yokes, so all through high school, girls by the dozens, saying we cousins, knowing that we wasn't. But like the old saying goes, time goes on and everybody grows. Grew apart, had to part, went our own ways. You chose the dope game, my microphone pays. In many ways, we were paid in the old days, so far away from the crazies with AKs. And though I've been around, clowning with the underground, I'm still down with my homies from the hometown. And if you need anything at all, I drop it off for y'all if my homies call. If my homies call. It's a shame you chose the dope game. Now you're slang gang on the streets with no name. It was plain that your aim was more cane. You got fame, now you reign with no shame. I chose rap tracks to make stats. In fact, I travel the map with rap to spray cats. But now I don't want to down my homie. No matter how low you go, you're not lonely. And I hear that you made a few enemies. But when you need a friend, you can depend on me. Call if you need my assistance. There'll be no resistance. I'll be there in an instant. Who am I to judge another brother? Only on his cover. I'll be no different than the others. A to the O to the M to the I to the E. I'm down to the E-N-D. Cause it's a fall in no time at all. I'm down for y'all when my homies call. What? It's my homies call. My homies call.
swell now. But I hear that you're going through some hell, pal. But life's making records ain't easy. It ain't what I expected. It's hectic, it's sleazy. But I guess that the streets is hard. Trying to survive in the life of a young godfather. My homie is making it elsewhere. Striving, working 9 to 5 with no health care. We both had dreams of being great, but here's the bird. The blurred and changed the shape. It's fate. It wasn't my choice to make. To be great, I'm giving it all it takes. Trying to shake the crates and fakes and snakes. I gotta take my place are far from greats. The bullet's late. The pace is quick and great. Smiling face to hide the trace of hate. But my homie would never do me wrong. That's why I wrote the song. If you ever need me, it's on. No matter who the foe, they must fall. Us against them all. I'm down the brawl. My homies call. If my homies call. If my homies call. If my homies call.
Hey, the secret's out. Hits 92.3 is now accepting submissions for brand new shows. That's right, you could become a radio personality right here on Hits 92.3, the real definition of internet radio. You don't have experience? That's okay. You don't live in Georgia? That's okay. You don't know what to do now? Now that's Hey, the secret's out. Hits 92.3 is now accepting submissions for brand new shows. That's right, you could become a radio personality right here on Hits 92.3, the real definition of internet radio. You don't have experience? That's okay. You don't live in Georgia? That's okay. You don't know what to do now? Now that's not okay. But your girl is here to help you out. Email us today at hits923newshow@gmail.com and tell us about your potential show with Hits. Again, that email address is hits923newshow@gmail.com. Don't be last. The slots are filling fast.
I excel, then prevail. The mic is contacted, I attract clientele. My mic check is life or death, breathing a sniper's breath. I exhale the yellow smoke of Buddha through righteous steps, deep like the shining. Sparkle like a diamond, sneaker Uzi on the island, and my army jacket lining hit the earth like a comet invasion. Nazis like the Afro-Centric Asian, half man, half amazing. Cause in my physical, I can express through song. Delete stress like Motrin, then extend strong. I drink my wet with Medusa, give her shotguns in hell. From the split that I lift and inhale, it ain't hard to tell. The Buddha monks in your trunk, turn the bass up. Not stories by Aesop. Place your loot up, parties I shoot up. Nas are analyze, drop a jewel. Inhale from the L, school of full well. You feel it like Braille, it ain't hard to tell. I kick a skill like Shaquille holds a pill. Vocabulary spills, I'm ill. Plusmatic, I freak beat, slam it like Iron Sheik. Jam like a tech with correct techniques. So analyze me, surprise me, but can't magnetize me. Scanning while you're planning ways to sabotage me. I'll leave them froze like heroin in your nose. Nas are rock well, it ain't hard to tell. This
Rhythmatic explosion is what your frame of mind is chosen. I leave your brain stimulated. Niggas is frozen. Speak with criminal slang. Begin like a violin. End like Leviathan is deep. Well, let me try again. Wisdom be leaking out my grapefruit truth. I dominate break loose. Giving Mike's ministry cycles. Streets disciple. I rock beats that's mega trifle. And groove even smoother than moves by Villanova. You're still a soldier. I'm like Sly Stone and Cobra. Packing like a Rasta in the weed spot. Vocals are squeeze Glocks and CZs drop. Though they need not to sneak. My poetry's deep. I never fell. Nas's rap should be locked in a cell. It ain't hard to tell.
So Love Radio Show on Hits 92.3. It ain't hard to tell that when you got some good hip hop, it makes you do all kind of interesting things. And Nas is one of the best to ever do it. It was so interesting because recently they had a conversation about swag and about what's more important, popularity or style and technique and skill. Jim Jones actually said he feels he can go against Nas. Um, yeah, and no, not in music making. Maybe in fashion coordination and maybe in color coordination. But John Weatherspoon, he also did color coordination. Coordinates. You see, he coordinates. Look at the coordinates. But if that's what we're getting down to, is that, well, I'm popular and I dress well and I got money in my pocket. That's not hip hop. Not all of us have money. And I'm tired of the window shopper mentality. It's like, yeah, you're a millionaire, but why are you looking down at me as someone who's supporting you in your hustle? Why are you looking down at me and saying, oh, you're broke because I'm trying to fix it? Now, I can see if I'm just sitting there just not doing anything for myself and my family, that should be appreciated just as much. I always say, as an artist, the most important person in the process of music is the person listening to it. So when I heard It Ain't Hard to Tell, I knew hip hop went somewhere totally different. Also, that was Nas saying the bridge is back. So now, as I mentioned, KRS One, when he said the bridge is over, it was over. MC Shan, Marley Marl, they was on top, but once the bridge was over, it really shut down the bridge until Nas came back, and that was the beauty of that. Even though I was from the Bronx, you couldn't deny that this man did something with words and he was a teenager. He understood the perspective of life from a young man's perspective growing up in that environment. And I always say this, it's not about, well, New York is harder or the South is harder, the West is tougher or this place is. We all got it tough. My stress and my strife is just as hard on me as your stress or your strife. So I'm hopeful that we get back to the time where hip hop was about saying, man, I'm not better than you. I'm just like you, brother. Namaste. I see in you the struggle that I see in me. Yeah, we changed that word, right? I don't tell people you can't call me the N word unless you represent the NIGGA in all of us. If you're just saying it because you're lazy and don't want to pronounce my name, then honestly, I really don't want to hear it. You actually are saying it with the R. I actually find myself uncomfortable with certain things because I want to present myself a certain way. And yeah, I curse like a pirate. I dance like a sailor, but only in a co-ed dorm. But I've also learned that no matter what we do, we gotta just embrace the best of us in hip hop. And one of the best things to me about hip hop is that it wasn't just about beats and boom bap and, oh, look how hard I am, look how tough I am, look how much money I got, look what I got, look what I got. It was about this beat just moved me to the point where I couldn't just move with it anymore. I had to say something to it. And it's kind of funny because to me, one of the best songs I've ever heard, and it wasn't just about best rap songs, it was the best songs I've ever heard. It was Can It Be? It was All So Simple by Wu Tang, especially Ghostface Killer and Raekwon the Chef. Now, when they came together on that 36 Chambers album, and you heard this, I don't know, this melodic, harmonious understanding of some of the most grimiest things you can imagine. But you felt a power, a sensation that overcame you. And it reminded you that it could be so simple. And when we was kids, it was so simple. But sadly, our kids are growing up faster than we can raise them. So when I think about songs, I think about music, I think about hip hop, I think about it was progressive movement. It was about how we gonna get through this unique fight, this unique struggle, and make a difference in the world. So even though songs that I love, I don't know, embrace a beautiful ignorance, but an entitled power that said, I'm going to connect with something strong within me. And Can It Be That It Was All So Simple by Wu-Tang Clan, Raekwon, and Ghostface Killer. It was one of the most beautiful things. And as I said, the chef, Ghostface Killer. But yet, they made some of the most beautiful music in my eyes and my heart. So as you vibe with this song, think about all the things that make it so simple. Because when it's so simple, that means it's just so right. Wu-Tang Clan, Can It Be? It was all so simple. Can it be? Can it be?
Fuck, yo, we gotta get this fucking loot, baby. You gotta get this loot. Yo, remember back in the days when shit, everything was so smooth and calm and shit was like, yo, man, I'm building, man. I'm saying like back in like in 70, fucking 79.
Everybody was on that lot.
Nah, 87. That was my favorite shit, polo shit. Everything was lovely, man. Yo, get the fuck out the ring, nigga. Get the fuck, who the fuck is that? Hey, yo, Ghost, yo, Ray. What's up with y'all niggas, man? What the fuck y'all niggas? Ah!
Hey, you know, everybody's talking about the good old days, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, the good old days, the good old days.
Good old days.
Well, let's talk about the good old days.
Let's talk about them shit. Hold up, baby. Take you on this lyrical high real quick. 1993 exoticness. You know what I'm saying? Let's get technical. Where's your bone at? Get up on that shit, alright? Yo! Started off on the island, AK Shanlin, niggas wailing, gunshot, stone and phone dialing. Back in the days, I'm 8 now, making a tape now. Ray gotta get a plate now. Ignorant and mad young, wanted to be the one till I got loud, felt one. Yeah, my pops was a fiend since 16, shooting that's that shit in his bloodstream. That's the life of a crimey, real life crimey. If niggas know that happens behind me. Day one, yo, growing all up in the ghetto. Now I'm a weed fiend, jetting the palmetto. In Medina, yo, no doubt, the guard got crazy clout, pushing a big joint from down south. So if you filthy stacked up, better watch your back and duck, cause these fiends, they got it cracked up. Now my man from up north, now he got the law, as solid as a rock and crazy soft. No jokes, I'm not playing. Get his folks, Desert Eagle his dick and put him in a yoke. And to know for sure, I got wreck and rip shot. I pointed a gat at his mother's knot. Word out. Fuck that. Dedicated to the winners and the losers. Dedicated to all Jeeps and Land Cruisers. Dedicated to the 5s, 850i. Dedicated to niggas who do drive-bys. Dedicated to the Lexus and the Ags. Dedicated to MPVs. Fat nigga, yeah.
Yo, kicking the fly cliches, doing duets with Ray and A. Happens to make my day. Though I'm tired of busting off shots, having to rock knots, running up in spots and making shit hot. I'd rather flip shows instead of those hanging on my living room wall. My first joint and it went gold. I want a lamp, I want to be in the shade, plus a spotlight, getting my dick broke all night. I want to have me a fat yacht and enough land to go and plant my own cess crops. But for now it's just a big dream, cause I find myself in a place where I'm last seen. My thoughts must be relaxed, be able to maintain. Cause times has changed and life is strange. The glorious days is gone and everybody's doing bad. Yo, mad lives is up for grabs. Brothers passing away. I gotta make wakes. Receiving all types of calls from upstate. Yo, I can't cope with the pressure. Settling for lesser. The God left lessons on my dresser. So I can bloom and blossom. Find a new way. Continue to make more hits with Ray and A. Sunshine plays a major part in the daytime.
Peace to mankind, Ghostface carry a black 9, nigga. Word up. Song like that.
Can it be that it was all so simple then? Can it be that it was all so simple then? Can it be that it was all so simple then? Can it be that it was all so simple then? Can it be that can it all so simple then? Can it be that it was all simple then? Can it be? Can it be that it was all so simple then? Can it be that it was all so simple then? Can it be that it was all so simple then?
It's like this. I'm gonna start from the top.
The Soul Love Radio Show on Hits 92.3. That was Can It Be When It's All So Simple by Raekwon the Chef and Ghostface Killer. And I love that song. Every time I hear it, it just reminds me of home, but it also reminds me home is where the heart is. No matter what you into. I mean, I never was into killing. I was never into robbing people. That wasn't my thing. And even though, they talk about that stuff in there, it just gave me a picture. It was kind of like a Quentin Tarantino movie or a Stephen King movie. But there was some influences and visuals that were depicted in those verses that I actually got a chance to see. So it kind of grounds me in my reality. But what I loved about it is I didn't have to be that to enjoy what they were experiencing. Hip hop is not about being a follower. Hip hop was not about being anything other than who you are. And that's the simplicity of it. It wasn't about being a clone. It wasn't about being that person or being like this person or just being popular. It was you. And if you popped, hey, we rocked with you. If you was dope, you was dope. If you was whack, you was whack. I kind of find it funny. There's people out there calling themselves whack and they think that's cool. Kind of like Michael Jackson bad means good, I guess, but nah, whack is just whack, and I don't care what they say. But hip hop, and that's why I respected Wu-Tang because that was a brotherhood of 9 individuals that came together despite their differences, and they had a common goal, and they utilized something like people don't understand the beauty of Wu-Tang Clan. Back in the days, if you don't know, on Fox 5, excuse me, it was Channel 5 back in the days. I don't even know what station was, but Channel 5. And on Sundays, they would play at 12 o'clock, they would play Chinese movies. And you would watch it from 12 to 4. So if you was a kid who didn't have the internet, about 10 a.m. after breakfast, you got up and got the heck out the house. And you would come back to at least catch one of those movies. You probably fall asleep. But the beauty of it was that you would fall asleep and you would wake up and you would see some of the dopest karate flicks ever, and it was right on your TV on Saturday programming. But that's the Wu Tang. They kind of embrace hip hop and the philosophy and the understanding and the adrenaline rush that you got when you saw people fighting. So I thank the Wu Tang for doing what they did, and also to Raekwon. He's one of the best to do it, and Ghostface Killer. This next song for me is also probably my favorite song of all time. Not my favorite rap song, my favorite song of all time. It's called When They Reminisce Over You, acronym Troy. It is by Pete Rock and CL Smooth. And it's funny because people ask me who's my top 5. I don't necessarily have a top 5. I have a top 5 of MCs that I like that did something for me, and CL Smooth is in my top 5. And they say why? Because he had a song, this song. He was the one who put together such a beautiful rendition about life in the midst of death. Rest in peace, Trouble T. Roy was one of Heavy D's backup dancers, and they went on tour, and they were just playing around, goofing around, and he fell to his death during rehearsal. And rest in peace, Trouble T. Roy. But he was the rock that kind of brought Mount Vernon dudes together. P. Rock, CL Smooth, Heavy D and the Boys, Father MC. We think about people like Denzel Washington comes from Mount Vernon. We think about even like the oil guy. I don't like saying his name too much these days. The oil guy, the baby oil man. Yeah. Oil Diddy. That's what we're gonna call him. Oil Diddy. Or Diddy Oil. Diddy Oil. Sorry, I found that funny. But it was a collection of people that came together, and this song to me came out, but it brought life to death. In the midst of death, this song brings me life. It talks about family, it talks about that unique struggle that we all have to honor our family by our actions, by to find something personal and that connects us to God. That it made me feel tradition, it made me feel current, and it's still to this day, every time I hear it, it reminds me that life exists until we choose it doesn't. Life is valued until we choose that it doesn't. I want to get back to a place where love and soul is the dominant factor in every decision that we do. And They Reminisce Over You by P Rock and CL Smooth is my favorite song. And it's basically about family, about coming together and dealing with all the hardships that we go through as a family. So They Reminisce Over You by P Rock and CL Smooth. I hope that you groove.
I reminisce. Yeah. I reminisce for a spell, or shall I say think back 22 years ago to keep it on track. The birth of a child on the 8th of October, a toast, but my granddaddy came sober. Count all the fingers and the toes, now I suppose you hope the little black boy grows. 18 years younger than my mama, but I rarely got beatings cause the girl loved drama. In single parenthood, there I stood. By the time she was 21, had another one. This one's a girl, let's name her Pam. Same father as the first, but you don't give a damn. Irresponsible, plain not thinking. Papa said chill, but the brother keep winking. Still he won't down, you would tear out your hide. On your side while the baby make a slide. But mama got wise to the game. The youngest of 5 kids, hun, here it is. After 10 years without no spouse, mama's getting married in the house. Listen, positive over negative, for the woman a master. Mother Queen's rise in the chapter. Deja vu, tell you what I'm gonna do when they reminisce over you, my God. So lovely. That's how we like to do it in the 90s. When I date back, I recall a man off the family tree. My right hand, Papa Doc, I see. Took me from a boy to a man, so I always had a father. When my biological didn't bother taking care of this. So who am I to pick up? Not a bad ticker, but I'm clocking Pop's liver. But you can never say that his life is through. 5 kids at 21, believe he got a right to. Here we go while I check the scene with the Portuguese lover at the age of 14. The same age, front page, no fuss. But I bet you all you know they live longer than us. Never been seen now, that's where you're wrong. But give the man a taste and he's gone. Nodding off sleep to a jazz tune. I can hear his head banging on the wall in the next room. I get the pillow and hope I don't wake him. But this man, the cuss, hear it all in verbatim. Telling me how to raise my boy unless he's taking over. I said, Pop, maybe when you're older. We laughed all night about the hookers at the party. My old man standing yelling, good God Almighty. Use your condom, take sips of the brew. When they reminisce over you, for real. For real, baby. Like that. We for real. Coming at ya. I reminisce so you never forget this. The days are way back, so many bear witness the fitness. Take the first letter out of each word in this joint. Listen close as I prove my point. T to the R-O-Y, how did you and I meet in front of Big Lou's fighting in the street? But only you saw what took many time to see. I dedicate this to you for believing in me. Rain or shine, yes, in any weather. My grandma Pam holds the family together. My Uncle Doc's the greatest, better get the latest. If we're talking about a car, Uncle Sterling got the latest. I strive to be live cause I got no choice. And run my own business like my Aunt Joyce. So Pete Rock hit me, enough respect to when they reminisce over you. Listen.
Listen, just listen to the funky songs as I rock on, and as word is born. I'm not playing, everybody just cool it. This song is dedicated to the one and only. Never be another, he was my brother. Trouble T. Roy, it's like that, y'all. And they don't stop. Rockin' still smooth from 92. And we out. Later.
So Love Radio Show on Hits 92.3. They reminisce over you, and I don't know, it's something about that song that just gets me in a place that the same place that gospel music gets me. This is something that I love. Like, my name is So Love, and I don't just spell it with a U because it's unique. I spell it with a U because it's just not about me. It's about you too. And hip hop to me was about an exchange of heart, an exchange of soul, an exchange of unique understanding that we all have the same struggle. A lot of times people want to talk about the problem with hip hop is that it represents the ignorant, and it doesn't. It represents all of us. In every group, every culture, there's ignorance, there's beauty, there's intelligence, there's people who work hard, there's people who scam, there's people who do this. It's not a color thing, it's about a people thing, a culture thing. We should celebrate more positive expressions of self. I give an example. So a story of a kid who had a graduation party, and he had a party and about 10 people showed up to his college graduation. His cousin came home from robbing an old lady, and they had about 100 people at the party. And that's culture. That's not racism. We did that. That was a decision they made amongst themselves, that what was more important, what was to be celebrated more. Let's say JJ coming home from 10 years robbing somebody, or how about Sarah, who went to college for 10 years and got her doctorate? Or I like to say, how about my daughter Brianna, who went and got her master's in psychology? We don't celebrate those things, but we celebrate the wrong things. We don't celebrate the mother getting up, struggling to be a single mother, taking care of the responsibilities of her and her child, having a father who doesn't understand the responsibilities that go into it, living their lives. And at times I may have been guilty of it too. Even though I know what's right, sometimes we don't always do what's right. But hip hop was retribution. It was finding repentance within those decisions. It wasn't about saying, I don't care. It's about that. I'm gonna be a father to my child, even though I'm a teenager. I'm gonna find a beat in a rhyme. I'm gonna know the ledge. I'm gonna understand that love can get you if you don't love the right things. You don't put the right value with love. It taught me that even though people like ranch dressing, it's okay to like blue cheese. Because I know some people that will order ranch dressing just because there's a table full of people that ordered ranch dressing, and they want to say, I don't want to be like, I want to be different. So they'll order blue cheese. They won't order blue cheese, excuse me. But I want people to remind themselves that we have opportunity and we have power within self to actually make a difference. Now, November, we talk about politics, we talk about the polls. I really don't like talking politics, but I am an active citizen who does my civil duty. but I'm also a man who understands that government is what you make it. I say we can argue all day about who's the president, who's the governor, but I wish we can focus on who's the president of our household. I wish we could focus on who's the governor of our jobs. If I want to think about those kind of things before we talk about public office, let's talk about personal office. Let's handle our own business so that any government decision that's made, we can stand firm in our sound decisions. So this next song, to me, it embodies the whole essence of what I think hip hop is for me. It was the grandchild of the civil rights movement for me. Civil rights, we had a dream. And out of that dream, unfortunately, came the black exploitation era, pimps and hoes, drugs and parties, the disco era. That came right after that. We had the hippie era, but that ushered in a different way of thinking, a different way of living. We didn't have as much soul power as we did in the 60s and in the early 70s. That soul power became something else. It became exploitation. And then we moved into the 80s, and we know the Reagan era brought in crack, brought in a different understanding of how we even made money. We brought in the welfare system, which I don't know, kind of gave incentives to support the destruction of the nuclear family, which is the best way to combat all the stuff that we're dealing with. So when I tell people that I got soul and love in my heart, I mean it, and I want you to have soul and love in your heart. And remind yourself that what's the most important thing for you is to be loved and be a soul. Honor yourself. If you have a relationship with God, be that. If you don't, hey, that's on you. But I say commit to self and honor and love yourself, love your neighbor, and love God if you do have a source. But I want you to love, and that's what this is all about. So, in the midst of loving, you're gonna find yourself having to fight because to really love, you have to fight for love. And when you get tired of fighting, that means you did everything you can. And when you do everything that you can in that fight, you can walk away with your head held high, with your heart whole, even though it's bruised, but it's still whole because you have it. So I want all anybody to hear this song to know that Public Enemy to me is the crown jewel of expression. It was seriousness, it was fun. It was Chuck D, a militant black brother who's educated, who's had a dominant voice that can change the course of history through curriculum and understanding. That was my vision of Chuck D. Then we have Flavor Flav. Most people know Flavor Flav because he was the clown prince. He was well, that was Biz Markie, but he was goofy. But he's the best hype man ever, best hype man ever, arguably. But he was the sugar to the salt to the pepper. He was the flavor that allowed America to digest Public Enemy because yes, they had an album called Fear of a Black Planet. And just imagine that right now. They fear Black Planet. But the Black Planet they were talking about was coming together as community. I want us to remind ourselves that fighting the power is not being like the power structure. It's actually saying let's create our own structure so we won't need their power. So this last song that I want to bring to you as far as hip hop and where I'm at in my head right now is I want to fight the power. I want to fight the power that be. And whatever is against you, whatever is fighting you, whatever you feel you're in conflict with, whatever you're afraid to confront, listen to Public Enemy. Every time I do, I feel like I can do anything. I feel like the SW1s and Professor Griff is right there behind me and got my back. I feel like I got the Black Panthers, I got Malcolm X, I got Martin Luther King, I got Marcus Garvey, I got all my proud leaders who gave their lives for the movement, and I'm grateful for that. So, Public Enemy, fight the power, and if you got something you want to fight, take this time to rage out, to let it out, but make sure that you do it with love. Fight the power, Public Enemy.
LOVE 108 FM.
Another summer. Sound of the funky drummer. Music hitting your heart, cause I know you got a soul. Hey, listen if you're missing, y'all. Swinging while I'm singing. Hey, giving what you're getting. Knowing what I knowin'. While the black man's sweating. In the rhythm I'm rolling. Gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey, our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. 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 We got to fight the powers that be. As the rhythm's designed to bounce with calcium that the rise designed to fill your mind. Now that you realize the prize arrives, we got to pump the stuff to make it right. From the heart, it's a start, a work of art to revolutionize, make a change, something strange. People, we are the same. No, we're not the same, cause we don't know the game. What we need is awareness. We can't get careless. You say, what is this? My beloved, let's get down to business. Mental self-defense of fitness. Don't rest the show. You got to follow what you know to make everybody see. In order to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. 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 We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. 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 We got to fight the powers that be. Elvis was a hero to most, but he never meant shit to me. Yes, he's straight out racist. The sucker was simple and plain. Motherfucking in John Wayne. Cause I'm black and I'm proud. I'm ready, I'm hyped cause I'm amped. Most of my heroes don't appear in no stamp. Sample look that you look and find nothing but rednecks for 400 years if you check. Don't worry, be happy. Was a number one jam. Damn, if I said you could slap me right here. Get it? Let's get this party started right. Right on. Come on. What we got to say? Yeah. Power to the people, no delay. Make everybody see. In order to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Shit, y'all. Fight the power. Shit, y'all. Fight the power. Shit, y'all. Fight the power. We got to fight the powers that be.
Welcome back. So Love Radio Show, it's 92.3. This evening was a good groove. It reminded me of how I reminisce over the dope things that we have done in this culture. I really appreciate and I love hip hop. I don't just say that. It's not just a brand of music for me. It is my life. Everything I do is hip hop. Even the way I carry myself, the way I raise my kids, the way I interact with people, it all was bred with hip hop as the principle. I believe in you live and let live, you get what you give, and let love be all there is. To me, hip hop was true freedom of expression in a time when they told me as a young black kid that you're going to be dead or in jail by the time you're 25 years old. Can you imagine that? Somebody tell you at 4 or 5 years old, they look at you and say, you're going to be dead or in jail by 25 years old. And the reality is too many of us are dead or in jail by the age of 25. I didn't embrace the stigma. I didn't embrace the stereotype. It was too loud for me. I said, I want to create my own path. I'm not going to be that. I'm going to fight the power. I'm going to reminisce over the good things that my great-great-grandmother taught me, which I did have the privilege of experiencing. My grandmother, who was, to me, the most beautiful woman in the world because of her heart. But hip-hop was the definition that bred me, the definition that became the principle in which the school of hard knocks wasn't as hard as it could have been. I made solid choices. I've made bad choices. I've done things that I regret. I've been a good man. I've been a bad man. But overall, I try. And when you hear hip hop, it's no matter what's in your heart. As long as you're trying, as long as you're celebrating yourself, as long as you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I tried today to be the best that I can. And I did it my way. I expressed myself my way. Everything that we're doing here to build on the show and the program is to make sure that we can connect. I want to build positive bridges, and through the Soul Love radio show on Hits 92.3, we're going to bridge those gaps. So as you have yourself a good weekend, a great week ahead, I want you to embrace the soul and the love that's in your heart. And remember, it's about the soul and it's about the love. And if you got hip hop with you, you got some soul love hip hop, and love will definitely hip and hop with you. Peace.
We gonna use hip hop to rebuild our communities. We gonna show love. We gonna be love. If you got love in you, say it with me. I sow love.
Radio show on Hits 92.3.